Let's start with introductions.
Hi, my name is Joe. I play Cal, which we will very shortly be saying goodbye to, and also Luke.
Hey, this is James. I play Fred for just a little bit longer, and also Charlie.
I'm Juan. I play 42 for a little bit longer, and Javier.
Woo.
Hell yeah.
I'm Lila, and I play Aurora slash Thumbelina.
Hell yeah.
And I'm Jay. I play literally everyone else. And we are hopping in back to it with the recap. This is our epilogue to the GVA OVA. There will be a second continuation with these characters. Some will pop up in the main campaign, and the players will get to play them again in and out of the main campaign for OVA 2 whenever I get off my ass and start writing that. But for now, let's get that recap.
Okay, so in the final episode of the GVA OVA, we start off with Aurora, talking with Hades, right? And Hades is a very handsome individual. We also get some insight into Thumbelina, who is Aurora. I'll just call her Thumbelina from here on out, unless I have to specify. So we get some insight into Thumbelina's background. And holy shit, it's bad. It was a lot of sexism. Holy sexism, Batman. There she lost her sister. There was some fuck shit going on with her husband. It was a lot. But Hades says like, hey, so the reason why you are the way you are and you don't feel no feelings is because your soul isn't finished. It's not complete. But he can fix that for her, and she can get her feelings back, but it might fuck her up a little bit. But she's like, you know what? Fuck it, we ball. And she, accepts the deal that he offers her, which the offer is, hey, I'll turn your feelings back on. In exchange, you will get something of mine from the GVA headquarters. That way I can get the fuck out of here because I'm tired of working for these bitches. And Thumbelina's like, you know what? Yeah, sure, that sounds fair. Um, and so, she agrees. And she has a whole bunch of big feelings. And there's a conversation had between Aurora and Thumbelina. And Thumbelina comes out on top, which is a good thing because she's sort of the better half here. Um, it was a very in-depth conversation, and we got some more insight into their background a little bit. Um, but yeah, Thumbelina came out on top, so that's all good. However, Aurora didn't disappear. She's somewhere in the back of her mind, lurking, waiting, watching. So we cut to Cal, Fred, Mobius 42, and Klaus going to talk to Abe. And we're like, Ayo, Abe, help us out, man. Let's get the fuck out of here. And Abe's like, you know what? You're right. Let's go. And then Cal also asks about Lord Mamushi's old designation, which our boy Abe is like, I'll get that to you. I've just got to find it. And so then we see Fred and 42 go talk to V, to be like, hey, can we bring everyone here? And V's like, yeah, sure, that's fine. They go on one more ride down the slide. It's a fun time, or two more rides actually. And then we see that Cal tries to find Levy, but he's been pruned. We find out from Waylon that he unfortunately got. So everyone goes to bed. And it's totally peaceful and nothing bad happens at all. Just kidding. Ares shows up in 42's apartment and he's like, you're a fucking idiot. I've been listening in this entire time, you fuck. You lied to me. So guess what, bitch? I killed all of your team. All of your team is dead except for Klaus, and I'm kidnapping you and I'm going to torture you. Yep, it's great. It's real bad. It's so bad. He knows everything. Like, literally everything. So Mr. Blue lets Fred know that, hey, 42 got, and Omega Squad is dead. And he goes and runs to Thumbelina, and he's freaking the fuck out. And Thumbelina's like, "Hey, let give me a second. I'm trying to plan, right? I'm trying to come up with a plan." So in the meantime, we cut to Fred goes and tells Cal as well. Cal has a bit of a moment, and Mamushi is like, "Hey, buddy, I can help you. I can help you get him back, but you gotta let me take control." And Cal thinks about it, but he's like, "No, not right now." So we return to planning with Thumbelina, and she's like, "You know what? I'm gonna try to bluff my way out of this. I'm gonna gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss Ares." And it does not work because Ares is like, "You're full of shit, bitch. I don't believe a single word you say. I know you've been compromised." And Thumbelina's like, "Well, you know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna put you in a body bag," and hangs up on him. And like total big dick energy. So, anyways, some crazy shit's about to go down. And Mr. Blue lets us know, like, hey, he's gathering his allies. We gotta get going here, man. So Thumbelina goes and talks to V a bit, and we cut to 42. 42 is strung up, and he's been put through the ringer. He's all kinds of fucked up. Klaus goes in there, and Klaus is like, "Good soldiers follow orders, man." And then, he kills 42 and then kills himself. But wait, Hades, right? So we pop into Hades's mansion, and oh shit, there's Klaus and 42 and all of Omega Squad, and they're all alive. And Hades is like, "Listen, I could have let you guys die, but I decided, you know what? Nah, I'm a good guy." So he's basically the reason why they're all alive, which is great. It's a good thing. Thank you, Thumbelina, for piquing Hades' interest in and making him want to help us out. So that's great. Meanwhile, book club is meeting up, minus 42, obviously, to kind of strategize. Thumbelina pulls Cal to the side. After everyone so we all get down to V's. Actually, we all gather on to V's, like Cal, Thumbelina, Fred, and all of the allies. So like Lavinia, Abe, Mobius, Waylon, everybody, minus Omega Squad, of course. And Thumbelina's like, "Hey, Cal, I need you to be super chill when I tell you this, but 42's dead." And Cal, like, punches a hole through a wall or some shit. He's real upset about it, but he's like, "Okay, cool. I'm gonna skin Ares alive and make him choke on his own intestines." And Thumbelina's like, "Great! We're on the same page." And then Hades shows up and is like, "Hey, guess what? Your friends aren't dead." And we're like, "What the fuck?" And he's like, "You're welcome." And we're like, "Cool, thanks." That was something. And we find out that V is gonna leave the GVA finally. He's stepping out into the great wide unknown, and he's kind of terrified about getting spaghettified again. But you know what? Fuck it, we ball. And we respect him for that, because he's a scientist. And he's doing it for science. We have some like last minute touching, emotional, mushy gushy stuff where we're like saying goodbye to each other just in case we don't make it out of this alive. We have some feels felt. And then it's time. It's time for the end. Time to storm the castle, the proverbial castle, i.e., the archives. So we gather our courage and we go. And we get there, and Dee Dee is unfortunately dead. They killed the fucking librarian, which is fucking bullshit and fucked up and makes me upset. But yeah, we get there, and it's fight time. It's go time. We get Fred back up in there, and he's like doing his hacker boy shit, trying to get Mr. Blue's portal opened up. That way he can get there and also get the files that he needs. And here comes the sentries, bum bum bum, and Ares, of course. And Cal decides, fuck it, we ball, and lets Mamushi take control. And absolutely decimates an entire sentry team almost. We're doing pretty well combat-wise, honestly, not gonna lie. Things are going pretty well in our favor. except for the fact that, okay, cool, Fred gets the portal open. Zordon is there. Zordon is Mr. Blue. Holy shit, how did we not put that together? But yeah, Zordon's Mr. Blue, and he shows up, and he's got a friend. Our favorite frenemy, our favorite angsty, multidimensional terrorist boy, it's Lord Draken. And Mamushi sees Draken, and Draken sees Mamushi, and it's like the lightning bolt tension thing happens between them, and they want each other's asses, and each other's asses are grass, and they want to mow them. It's great. Draken's really trying hard to goad Mamushi into fighting him, but he's kind of playing nice because Zordon's there, but he really wants Mamushi to swing on him, so he has a reason to kick his ass. It's great. It's not great. It's actually very bad. While this is happening, however, the fighting with the sentries continues. Lavinia's kind of kicking some ass. Thumbelina's doing her thing. Omega Squad's doing their thing. People are going through the portal to get the fuck out. The squishies are. And Ares is kind of squaring off with Thumbelina, but things are going pretty okay, honestly, not gonna lie. There now is a war of wits within Cal's mind. Cal is trying to wrest control back from Lord Mamushi, and after a very intense fight between the two of them in the brain juices, Cal manages to win. He wins out, and he stamps out what remains of the tyrannical green Psycho Ranger that existed within him. Lord Mamushi is gone. He's no more, and all that remains is Cal. He demorphs from his Psycho Ranger monster form, and the fight continues with Thumbelina and Ares. Thumbelina kicks Ares' fucking ass. Like, rips his arm off and then turns him into a pile of crystals. It's badass as fuck. Some other shit happens, but the point is, Thumbelina did in fact put him in a body bag. We loved that for her. So, with the fight done, we make it through the portal onto Zordon's ship. Thumbelina is like, hey, yo, Draken, so I know I was working for you and everything, but here's my 2 weeks notice. And Draken's like, what the fuck? And Thumbelina's like, don't worry about it. And also on the ship is one of Draken's minions, who is, guess who? It's Danny! It's that Danny! It's 42's Danny! But here's the problem. 42 squashed Javier out of his brain, and so Danny's real pissed. Danny's like, you fucking left me. You left me. And 42's like, hey man, I don't know what you want from me. So Danny yells at him a little bit, and then cools down. So that's a thing that definitely probably won't be a problem in the future. I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, we're kind of catching our breath. We're taking a minute. We made it to the ship. Everyone survived. It's crazy, but we did it. Hell yeah. And that's where we're picking up, is on the ship after Draken and Danny have left.
Okay, so we're gonna move him a little bit back for a second, until it's time for him to be introduced. So you are on the ship. Alpha's there. This very samurai-looking Alpha, and Mr. Blue, which is Zordon, is there, and you're all on the ship. Everyone made it. You're all giving each other hugs, high-fiving, whatever it is you want to do. You know, Cal and Moby's probably had their little hug moment.
Yes.
42 is probably confused as fuck. Price has a lot of questions because that was him, but different. And he said brother, and it kind of clicks in his head. He's like, oh shit, that's why me and 42 get along so well. I'm just another version of his brother, which is insane. So yeah, that's how things are going. And like I said, about an hour and a half you have to get any questions answered that you want to know and where your characters are going. So I have some semblance of what to write for the next one. We're going to do this in a turn-based order so that way I can make sure I get to everyone. We are going to start from the top. We're going to go ahead and start with 42. Any questions you have for Zordon, and where you feel 42 is going, and so basically, where do you see him going? Do you see him in Omega Squad? Because Omega Squad's going to follow you. Do you see them staying with Mr. Blue Zordon now that you'll know it's Zordon? Or do you even wish to just go back home. Whatever it is that you want to do.
So I feel like, after centuries of being in Omega Squad, he's just gonna decide to stay with Omega Squad and see if he can stay if he'll stay with Zordon and see if he can help Zordon.
So you're going to tell Zordon that y'all are going to stay with him on this mission.
Yeah.
That is very commendable. And I thank you and your team for sticking with me on the next part of the journey. I know you probably have many questions. If there is anything I can answer for you, please feel free to ask.
Has he told us? I can't remember for the life of me, but has Zordon told us why what he was trying to accomplish by getting us all out of there, or by coming to the GVA in general?
Yeah, he did. Mr. Blue explained through the thing that he wanted justice. He wanted everyone to know with the data he was going to ping in all directions possible, so everybody know what the GVA had done, and that it's probably happened to them potentially, and all the data on all the designations he could get, so that way everybody could be prepared in case they continue to do it.
Hmm.
What they took from him, they took the morpher away after some things happened. So he explained all of that. You can ask for some details if you would like, or you can ask a different question.
Hmm. So I just imagine Lord Draken was there as to help him. He called in him as a favor.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yes.
I really don't have any questions for Zordon.
Okay. But yeah, if you want to stick with Zordon in this mission, your team is going to be with you 100%. However, y'all would notice at some point you all have demorphed and your powers are not working.
Figured that would happen.
It would appear they have finally cut you off from your powers. Your devices are no longer suitable to you. If you will allow me in Alpha and a good friend of mine on this ship, we will use those devices to re engineer and make our own devices better. If you will allow us.
Of course, and I'm just gonna just kind of take it off, prepared for whoever's gonna be the one who takes it.
I'll take those. And Alpha puts his hands out like a cup.
All right.
So you and your teammates, you all take off your devices, pile them in Alpha's hands.
Yep.
Oh, Ninjor is sure gonna love this. He's gonna have quite the ball. Speaking of which, where is Ninjor?
Alpha, I'm right here.
Ay! You spend a lot of time in your room. I know you're busy, but here, these are the devices.
Is this all of the devices?
Well, it's just the ones for Omega Squad. No one else has given up any of their other devices. Those will probably work, but their powers are what aren't working anymore.
Don't. Fine, I'll look at them and see if I can put a coin slot in these.
You and coins. It's time to change.
What is your problem with coins?
This is my associate, if many of you have done your research, known as the greatest ninja alive, Ninjor.
Oh, Zordon, you're too kind.
Since you have lost your powers, me and Ninjor doing all the work, has decided to potentially make new powers for those who come with us on this journey.
Key phrase, potentially. You have to pass some tests first.
And Zordon gets the attention, everyone. That goes for anyone who would like to take the call to action. You may choose to go through the trials of Ninjor. Polly's gonna walk up to Ninjor and Zordon. So anyone can take these tests as long as they feel like they could pass them. And if we fail, we don't die or anything, do we?
Probably not. If you do fail, we can find something else for you to do.
Well, that's a relief. I think I kind of do want to try. Just to see. Yeah, just a little bit.
That's spirit. Fred's looking at Lavinia like, if Polly's gonna try, I might as well try too. I want to stick with that guy.
She is going to do whatever it is you do. If you try, she will try to.
Yeah, I mean, we might as well try. If we fail and nothing bad happens, then
Okay.
count me in.
Since you're approaching, we'll go ahead and go to Fred. Do you have any questions for Zordon?
Um,
Or even Ninja or shit? And talk to yourself. Why not?
so you'd done a lot of research on the GVA before you reached out to a couple of their the people that they had taken, right? The GVA's got really powerful people that live here, like that Hades guy that I saw with V for a little while. And V, who was really in charge here? Like, were the Morphing Masters really behind the GVA? Do you guys even know?
There were talks in some of the original files I could pull about the Morphing Masters. But the Morphing Masters did nothing more but then to generate the space that the GVA is held in. After that, they had no part. Everything else you saw was nothing more than propaganda.
They did a pretty good job with the propaganda. Yeah, no comment. Never mind.
Right.
Yeah, I guess I'm done with the GVA and Zordon. I've read a lot about you and in reports and stuff. I'm if I look at Cal and I look back at Polly, I'm just like, yeah, I'll do this. I'll be with you.
Is there any other questions that you might have?
I mean, I got a lot of questions, but my brain is kind of like swimming right now. You have designs on making some of us rangers. What if we succeed and get the power to become Power Rangers, but still have like something inside of us that wants to kind of hang back and just kind of do record keeping? Is there a place for me if I become a ranger or if I get some sort of power and then don't really want to fight a whole bunch? Like, I just want to know kind of what kind of ruling system you're gonna have under your base.
Even if you get a power and are able to shape a blank coin into something that shows who you are, even if you are still afraid after passing the test, I'm not going to abandon you. You will always have a place here. We will always be able to find something you can do to contribute. You do not need to worry about that.
We don't like tell people what to do all the time. There's chaos out in the world, and we just try to make sure we can squash it whenever it rises up. Right,
Well
but
said.
like squashing it, like physically. There's a lot of people here. I don't know. Never mind. It'll be fine. What's wrong with this guy?
He gets nervous easy.
It's okay. He's protected.
Oh dear.
Now we're going to go ahead and go to Cal. Any questions you have?
If we stay with you, I assume we just travel wherever it is you're traveling. Do you have a set route? Do you know where we're going next?
It's going to take a bit of time to plot our next course. Muttering Billy through the multiverse is a hard task. He's probably the smartest man in the multiverse. He give us time to prepare, see who will pass the tests of Ninjor, become a ranger, and where everyone will be assigned. But if you do not wish to continue on this journey, we will take you wherever it is that you want to go. But be warned, they may find you again. And I don't know what they're going to do to you. Once everything is ready, we will plot our course and try to follow Billy. There are some steps and a few places along the way we may stop, potentially to gather more allies, as I have some spread across time.
I see. Speaking of across time, you're not the only one who made a visit to the GVA that wasn't from them. When I was in the library, some guy named Lagon approached me. Thought I was someone else. Do you know anything about that?
Back on my home planet of Eltar, before it was destroyed, there was talks of an ancient dragon known as Lagon. But I'm assuming that the Lagon you spoke to is not the exact same one from my homeworld.
He said he was from Eltar.
The multiverse is a big place. But I'm assuming he wasn't a dragon.
No, he was just some guy. Or he was projecting through someone.
Lagon was a smart man, and one of the more powerful ancient beings on Eltar. Whatever it is he said to you, and whatever it is he was seeking out, he had a very good reason for astral projecting across the multiverse. We may have to look into that.
All right. One other thing. At least, I think one other thing. I'd like to tag along because, I don't really have a home. I don't know if my designation still exists. Or my old one. And I don't know if I even want to go back there if it does, because I'm not Mamushi anymore. I don't even know if I could be a ranger.
Unfortunately, no. With Psycho Rangers, the process of potentially grafting on regular uncorrupted power is unheard of, because it will kill you instantly. There is a process spread across the multiverse that could potentially change you back. However, the few instances that has been tried, I have not heard of it succeeding. The attempt to change someone back has always led to a very unheard of path. I have only seen it a few times in my travels. If you had gotten your memories back, you may know some of the paths, but you probably have not, even throughout your time in the GVA, had heard of the Path of Sorrow.
Cal shakes his head.
The Path of Sorrow is what happens when a Psycho Ranger tries to turn himself back or with help. Upon its failure, and it not killing the person in question, they begin to fall apart consistently, losing all shape and form. Their monster forms are nothing. Simple ghosts and reflections of what they tried to turn themselves back into. I do not wish it on anyone. You may be a Psycho Ranger, but you show great promise and change. What I had witnessed in that fight is that you managed to overcome your old personality of Lord Mamushi. That took great strength and great effort. It is commendable. But you are still welcome on this team. And about the other, we managed to pull all of the data. If you want to know if your designation still exists, I can answer that now.
Yeah, sure. I don't want to go back. Just for curiosity's sake.
He pulls up some hologram things in front of him and he starts typing in on some things, looking around, bringing more panels. As you can see on his face, you can't read it, but his face is that of shock. This is unexpected. You appear to have two designations. One, a false designation so that way anyone who did digging would find. And your original. But my data is precise. The one who made the change was that of your own in this room, Mr. Wayland. Mr. Wayland, would you like to tell Cal his true designation?
Cal turns and looks at Waylon.
We made the change because of everything that had happened. We couldn't allow anyone to think otherwise. Cal, you see, you're not the only you that exists.
Well, yeah, there's variants.
No. We cut your branch and let it regrow back. Designation 10-X2936. The same designation of one of the members of the Dimension Storm team.
The one I saw in the dreamscape. The one Legon thought I was.
You and him are one of the same. He's what grew back.
So we're not we're we're not variants of each other. We are each. How does that work?
Technically, you are a variation. You are technically the original 10-X2936. Luke, the one that's out there running around, is 10-X2936-1. We keep track of things that have grown back through cutting of branches. Luke doesn't know that he's not his original self. Because you are the original of that timeline.
But if it was cut and grew back, then he's his own entity. He's not me. I'm not him. I mean, I am, but
Technically, yes and no. But like I said, we keep track of the branches that we cut to know how many times we've had to cut them. Everything was exactly the same, except for one instance. When you went back to your room after all that time and you sat there and you discovered the coins could merge by holding them close, Luke didn't do that. Luke immediately shoved them into a box to forget it all that ever happened. He didn't waste time. You held on. The moment you entered that room, two of you did two very different things. And that small change of just shoving everything away is what changed his future.
if he hadn't, then it would have been the same.
And we would have had to cut the branch again.
That's why Legon got confused. Said something about energy signatures being the same. They were.
What did Lagon want?
Luke and his team are meant to play a huge part in something that happens on Eltar.
The destruction of my home.
Yes. Or the saving of it. He seemed to think that they would save it.
And in this dreamscape, what all did you see?
It was like I was watching a film from the beginning to the end several times. Small changes happened each time. Luke's running. A red Psycho Ranger appears. They fight. He gets knocked down. Another Red Ranger appears, I believe Turbo Red. Helps him. Psycho Red gets attacked. Psycho Red gets killed. Who kills him each time changes. How he dies changes. I watched like 3 or 4 iterations of this. And then Luke saw me. And we spoke. And then Psycho Red showed up again. And more figures appeared. And that's when the connection severed.
It would appear that you and Luke are potentially the exact same person. Being able to see his dreamscape means you aren't a variant. It's weird, but not unheard of. And now I know why. Because the GVA has been cutting branches and making basically the exact same people over and over again to get the results that they wanted. I think it would be best and wise if Lagon was reaching out to potentially follow any other leads we get, even in your dreams. If there's any way we can help in the savior of Eltar, I think it's worth a shot.
So what would happen if the two of us met in person?
Theoretically, a few things could happen. Off the top of my head, potentially you might cause a fracture of some kind, a split of energy. Other option, you start to pull on each other like magnets. The two of you might hypothetically slam together, becoming one being, becoming whole again. Other option, the universe can't handle you two. The multiverse cannot handle you two being within the same vicinity. One of you might fall apart until you're nothing. But I cannot say for sure.
So it's best that we don't.
For the time being, until we are sure of what that may cause. But they are on our same path of making sure that Billy does not continue his destruction of the multiverse and the grid. Our meeting is inevitable. It will happen.
Al just sort of stands there quietly. He's thinking. I think that's all the questions I have for now.
All right. Moving on to Thumbelina. What are you doing? Any questions? And where are you going in life?
I am going to talk to Zordon real quick because I do have an actual question for him. You said that you already sent out all the information to anyone who could access it?
Not at the moment. We are preparing to beam it out on all potential energy signals and lengths. Radio, anything you can think of, we are preparing to drop it as we prepare the data to be transmitted across time and space.
I see. Do you have any information on all who have been caught in the higher ups as being Draken followers?
Unfortunately, it would appear that at the time that they were being caught, they weren't recording in on the data that I had acquired. So unfortunately, no, I do not have a count.
I see. Fun. Joyous. Great. Okay. That's kind of all I had questions for Zordon.
So what are you going to do now?
I want to speak with Hades
Okay, we'll have to do that at a
later time.
later time.
Okay.
You can. He can open a portal and send you to Draken if that's what you want to do, or whatever you want to go. They can prepare to send you in that direction.
Hmm. Okay, yeah, let's go to Draken.
I will open a portal to Draken. However, you did quit. So if I send you, that's on you.
It's like, well, if Draken would have read the 2 weeks notice I gave him, he'd understand why I'm coming.
And then a portal opens up and it's just Lord Draken. Alright, come on. Let's go.
Bye, guys. She walks out.
Bye, Thumbelina.
Bye! Bye, Thumbelina. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
I hope we never see her again.
And that is
Jeez.
Thumbelina. Portal away!
How do I get my prescription for Xanax now?
Ask Luke. Ask Cal.
Ask Ninjor. Ninjor can tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that everyone's questions and stuff?
Yeah, I was about to ask that before we wrap up the epilogue.
So you said you pulled a lot of files.
Yes.
There was a file that we came across that mentioned a previous team member of Luke's, or of ours. Operation Dying Phoenix.
Oh no, he knows about Operation Dying Phoenix. I'm sorry, Cal, but you have to go. Yes. Operation Dying Phoenix. And I already know the man in question. The man you are going to ask about is Marcus Mitchell, a former ally of Billy 1C. In the file, it talks about Marcus being a wealth of energy in a pool. Something inside of Marcus is different than most Psycho Rangers across the multiverse. His power is growing exponentially, and he is eventually going to erupt, taking a lot of people with him when he does. However, the Hyperforce and GVA were unable to determine what was going on within Marcus. Several people who could see spectral energies saw something dark within him. Only someone else with the ability to get close to him to be able to see what it is without burning their eyes into ash will be able to see deep within and past the heat to see what is within Marcus Mitchell.
Relax situation.
So if they're able to get to the core of it, they can fix it?
It depends on what it is. But like I said, those who have tried, according to the reports in Operation Dying Phoenix, their eyes burned into nothing, trying to see beyond the heat that lies within his soul. However, upon further reading of Operation Dying Phoenix, it appears there is a reason beyond his potential demise. It talks about a prophecy related around Marcus Mitchell and a version of Eltar.
That's probably what Lagon was talking about. I'd be willing to at least bet.
Most likely, that is what Lagon was trying to stop. Unfortunately, what they were able to find out about the prophecy from a carvings of an alternate version of Marcus will be the reason Eltar falls. We will do what we can. However, prophecies are very fickle things. Sometimes they are able to change, but sometimes the results will always be the same. You may have had high hopes, and I hate to crush them. But there may not be anything we can do if it is foreseen in prophecy. I will need to talk to Lagon of this Eltar to understand how deep this prophecy goes. If you are all done with your questions, and if all of you are remaining here to help us stop Billy and bring true justice to the multiverse, those who wish to call to action, I will now allow Ninjor to speak of the trials. So you can make your final decision. As I said earlier, Cal, you are not able to receive a new power. Your power alone will make up for those who have no experience. In your memories, even though evil filled with hatred and sorrow and cruelty, I believe you can find the means to teach those who are not ready, alongside Ninjor and myself and Omega Squad, to help contribute to their learning of how to defend themselves properly with the power.
I can do that.
Ninjor, if you will, explain the trials.
Creating power coins was much harder in the beginning. I admit, I didn't know what I was doing. But I knew I wanted to create personalized keys for warriors to have access to their power source. When paired with morphers, it hones the connection to the morphing grid, allowing the coin wielder to gain incredible power. Over the years, I've gotten pretty good at making these coins, but without finishing the personalization of the coin, let's just say the coin I've prepared are blank, sitting at 90% completion. And we can't just hand them over to just anyone. We've only just met after all. No, I think arranger trials are in order. Whoever wants to answer the call must come with me to begin the process. I can open portals to send each of you into the Forest of Trials. Some of you may face your greatest fears. Some of you may see something totally different. The forest itself is sentient, and when people wander onto the hallowed ground, it confronts them with their personalized trials. There's a chance that you will fail the challenges faced within the forest. If that's the case, you'll be expelled from the trials. But that doesn't mean your journey to do good in the multiverse is over. Even without access to the morphing grid, Zordon can find a proper job for you within our ranks. Or, if you no longer want to be part of this fight, we can talk about dropping you off somewhere else, like with Thumbelina there. Not with her, but like how she did. So whoever's ready, follow me. So this is just happening? Like, we're just gotta follow this dude?
Price next to you? I guess so. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna pass these trials. To be honest,
Dude,
I mean, I was a green Zeo sentry. Let's be honest here.
that's more than me. I wasn't even a ranger. Like I didn't even have I wasn't even a sentry. I was data entry. So I mean, hey, worst comes to worst, me and you could work somewhere else for Zordon. I don't know. Let's just
do tech stuff maybe.
maybe, yeah. I mean, you helped me ping the location. I don't think we've ever really talked, but we totally should have been talking a lot
I mean,
more
yeah.
over
I mean, if
these
you
years.
think about it, we're more alike than you think. I was mostly the think about it. I mean, we're both tech guys. Both have really hot alien girlfriends. We should have been best bros all along.
Polly's over there watching us like this motherfucker. Well, I don't know about. Yeah, I mean, yeah. They're like, we'll talk about that. I don't want to say best, but yeah, friends. Yeah, I'm nervous. You're making me nervous, Price.
So Fred's gonna answer the call. 42, are you going to do the trials?
Yes.
And then since you're doing it, all the Mega Squad is. Since Fred is doing it, Luvinia and Polly will. And
What about
you know,
Mobius?
Yeah,
I'm
what
about
about
to.
Mobius,
I was
Ace, and
about. I
Waylon?
was. I was
What
about to
about
get to
these
Mobius.
three?
Waylon's gonna at least try because he was a sentry. Beast seeing Polly go is going to give it a shot, so that way he can continue to kind of mentor Polly and show him that just because we're different and everything. But Mobius is like, yeah, I don't know, like, I mean,
Mobius,
Yes.
Mobius, Mobius.
Yes. It's just like
Mobius.
everybody.
Yeah,
I mean, it
All
basically
right, all right,
everybody's
all
there.
right.
yeah.
I'll give it a shot. Worst case scenario, I don't make it, and I don't know, sweep the floors,
Mhm.
maybe.
Maybe you'll finally learn how to make coffee properly.
It's just coffee, Cal. Like, I don't understand how you can just. I mean, it's just coffee. It is what it is. It's not hard to mess up, and it's very easy to make. It's just
Mobius,
coffee.
if you fail the trials, you're not making sandwiches for the group.
No, now hold
I
on
will.
now.
Okay, you
No,
can make
no, no,
sandwiches
no,
for some
no,
of them.
no. Listen, do not let these two near a kitchen.
Overreacting. Now, I'll be the first one to go through. I got to make sure I come out spiffy new powers and the ability to perhaps, who knows, maybe my personalization will be sandwich based.
Oh my god, if it is.
Comes out as like a car with like a lightning bolt.
Oh my fuck it! He's just the red turbo. He's
that
just
would be
the red
awesome.
Turbo Ranger.
Ka-chow.
Same brain cell.
So basically, everyone is going except for Cal because Cal can't. So
Yeah, because it'll kill him.
Yeah, it just like pushes Callaway out of the way, Game Boy.
one
Like,
second,
hilarious.
real quick.
Listen, Cal's gonna be a teacher. Cal's gonna be training your asses. Not Omega Squad, but the rest of you.
Train my ass, Cal.
Oh no, not like that. Not like that.
My goodness.
Cal, I must tell you that you can go through the forest to test yourself if you wish, but you just won't get a power. You aren't in any danger. So do it, dude.
I guess for the sake of getting back into the swing of things, sure.
Also, it'll make you look a lot better in my eyes. I'm still on the fence about all this.
Hmm?
But knowing that your world was, well, I did lie to you. I knew exactly that it was gone, but I wanted to make sure you weren't just trying to go back for negative reasons. If you go through the forest, I'll definitely see you in a better light.
I'll go through it.
Jay, do we need to go to anywhere, or do I just need to I need
So,
to
this-
different rooms?
This is where the prologue ends.
Okay.
Everyone going into the forest, because I have to single-handedly sit down by myself and decide who in their character mindset will make it out of all the NPCs, because not everyone's going to make it. Even Omega Squad, some people in Omega Squad could fail depending on what their fears and what demons they're going to face. So, this is where the prologue ends. Everyone who is willing, which is basically everyone, is going into the forest. And as y'all go into the forest, it's like a door on a ship that opens up. But in the door, is just a forest. Kind of like going into the simulation room when a simulation is on, except it's not an illusion, it's magic. Ninjor leads y'all into the forest, and in the distance you see what appears to be like old Japanese like architectural stuff, you know?
Torii gates and stuff.
Yes, it's a big estate, basically. Multiple different buildings and stuff like that, all connected, and it's deep within the forest. Once you are in Ninjor's estate, Ninjor will assign you a temporary gi for you to wear. You will be stripped of all of your belongings. Do not worry if you have any valuables; they will be returned to you. You will go in wearing a standard gi from Ninjor school. You will each all go in separate directions, so you will not meet each other within the forest. Once within the forest, it will take shape of your fears and any inner demons and any challenges to bring out the best version of yourself and what strives you to be better deep down to who you are as a person. If you are able to accept the call to action and face your fears the best way you know how, the coin given to you before the trial begins will start to take shape. Once upon facing your fears, if you are successful, the coin will have fully taken shape to the power you will wield. These powers will not be consistent. Some of you might get animal-based powers. Some may get technology-based, magic, cars, anything that you have potentially witnessed in your daily jobs at the GVA, all is possible. Even those you might not have ever seen before. It will be a true power to yourself. A one-to-one, potentially existing in this very moment. Nowhere else in the multiverse. I wish you all the best of luck, and even if you fail, do not worry. You have a place here. And upon your journey through the forest, may the power protect you.
All right, come get your geese.
So y'all walk into the estate. You get your geese, these standard blue geese. They have the Ninjor logo on the left side, a little circle Ninjor logo. You all are ready to go. You have your coins. When the credits roll.
Nice.
Seeing to the future, preparing for the next step of the OVA, all those who passed the trial. Now, all player characters, we will do role play, and I will do that for you in the prologue to OVA 2. Like we did the beginning at the GVA where you got abducted, we will have a prologue where you face your fears.
Nice.
Now, for Cal may not be able to get a new power, but Cal, if he succeeds, will get something to make it worth his while, so it's not just for nothing. Fred and 42 will receive their new personal-based powers based on the role play and what you bring out of yourself and your character. So don't just think it's going to be, I'm just going to fight the fear. I'm like, okay, well, you're a punch ranger, so congratulations. I need to know what you're pulling from, what motivates you, and how you do it. So that's something to think about when you get back into character as 42 and Fred. Cal, same thing, but depending on what you pull from, you'll get something extra, just not a new power. Roleplay will be given to all characters. The NPCs, I'll have to sit down, really think about it, get in the mindset, probably at James's apartment while he's just like saying Master Miyagi quotes in Ninjor's voice, probably.
Nice. Uncle Iroh and Master Miyagi quotes.
Wax on or wax off! Okay, alright, cool. Cool. Alright, so that's the end of the GVA OVA number 1. That is the epilogue. It's done. I'm going to end the recording, and we're going to start the fuck around session. And we're going back to the place. You know it. You love it. It's where everything began. We're going back to the alley, baby.
Leaves from the vine.
Falling
so slow.
Oh my god,
like
no.
Tiny shells drifting in the foam.
Now let him cook.
Little soldier boy, come marching home. Brave soldier boy, come marching home.
Round of applause.
How many more story points do we get for that?
How many story points can we get for that? Yeah.
Shut up. Charlie is getting like his own set of points now because it seems that James is the only one that gives a shit about this fucking campaign. No, I'm playing.
What the you mean?
God.
Okay, anyway, I'm cutting it off, and we're gonna pull it back up. We're gonna cut it off real
That
quick.
came from somewhere deep, Jay.